Another big story this morning on a Fox News alert. Twin terror raids in two different countries on the continent of Africa, resulting in the capture of one of the most wanted men in Al-Qaeda. This goes back to 1998. Special ops forces carried out the raids in Libya and Somalia. They were able to capture one man in Libya, Abu Anas al-Libi, a top Al-Qaeda operative responsible for the 1998 embassy bombings in Eastern Africa. We've just got new video of his home where he was captured by Delta Force. His family saying that he's been living here freely for 3 years. National Security correspondent Jennifer Griffin, you've been working this story all weekend, Jennifer. Both missions, first in Libya, then Somalia. Were they successful or not?
Well, Bill, what's really interesting, this is almost unprecedented to have two special operations forces carry out simultaneous raids attempting to capture two high-level al-Qaeda targets. In the case of Libya, it was very successful. The Army Delta Force operators surrounded Abu Anas al-Libi in his car. His family says that he had just pulled into his driveway after morning prayers early Saturday morning. They say his brother and his son say they have surveillance video at their home of the raid. As the operators grabbed him from his car, he was taken alive. So that was a very successful operation in terms of the Libya raid. In Somalia, it went down a little differently. It was U.S. Navy SEALs that came ashore. They were trying to target and capture a man who goes by the alias Ikrima. His real name is Abdul Qadir, Mohammed Abdul Qadir. He's in charge of the al-Shabaab foreign fighters in Somalia. You see some training video we have of the al-Shabaab. They're the ones who were responsible for the Kenya attack. That operation did not go quite as planned. They encountered a firefight, and it's not clear at this time that they got their man, that they got their target. They certainly did not capture him alive, but it's not clear whether he was killed in that firefight, Bill.
So al-Libi, what happens to him next, Jennifer?
Right now, he is on board a U.S. ship. He is going to be interrogated, we're told, by U.S. officials for the next several weeks. At that point, he will be handed over to U.S. law enforcement. He was indicted, remember, for those 1998 U.S. embassy bombings in East Africa back in 2000. There's an indictment in the Southern District of New York. That's most likely where he'll be tried. He is, again, being held right now, and he will be handed over to law enforcement in the coming weeks.
Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer Griffin. Do we have Secretary Kerry here? Do we have that? Okay. Jennifer Griffin, thanks. When you get more headlines, come on back, okay? I thought we were going to hear from Secretary Kerry. We'll have that a bit later this morning. Martha has a bit more on this now.
So let's look into who al-Libi really is. He has been on the FBI's most wanted terrorist list since shortly after September 11th. He is a computer expert who studied electronic and nuclear engineering in college, been described as the, quote, builder of al-Qaeda's network in Libya, is believed to have returned to Libya after the civil war broke out there in 2011. So what information are authorities hoping to learn, and where will they put him ultimately? He is not going to Gitmo. KT McFarland will join us and give us that part of the story, what happens next with him, coming up in the next hour.
Remember, this was an operation. They went in both cases on the ground to extract them. This wasn't a drone operation that we've become very used to in Afghanistan and Pakistan, so a change in tactic, too, that we can go through with KT.
Interesting the way he was living with his family on that street. It looks like a fairly peaceful existence, and you wonder how long we've known he was there and why this was the moment that they went in to get him. So a lot more coming up on that throughout the show.
Also at